Good afternoon, everybody. How are you today? And welcome to the latest edition of Drew Media Live. So great to have you with us on the final day of on Friday, New Year's Eve, December 21st, the year 2021. And of course, this is yours truly, Andrew L. Perry. Oh, thank you very much. As always, coming to you live and at you from the busy streets of Brooklyn, New York, as I chat to you what is happening in the world of sports. We have a lot, what's going on and stuff like that. I mean, the NHL, some games have been resumed, but the Rangers, as far as they're not gonna have a home game until after New Year's, stuff like that. Because COVID is really the cases of COVID-19 is really scoring high, and more people being affected. Has been more scary. A lot of it is happening right now, and of course I'm gonna start the show talking about the passing of John Madden. He was 85, and I mean. Of course, he's a great broadcaster, great video gamer of my generation. But he was a great coach. He was a great coach as an Oakland Raider. But you know what's fascinating for me? A lot of people. It doesn't matter who you are. A lot of people know when you hear the name Madden or John Madden for that matter. It doesn't matter what generation you are. You could go with head coach or broadcaster or video game. Now, I want to go on the coaching for a while, if you don't mind. And let me tell you, he have one of the greatest coaching winning percentage. I mean, his stats alone speak for itself as a head coach. You know what I mean? He first of all, he won 134 wins. He had 134 wins. He has the highest winning percentage of any coach, also except for Vince Lombardi. And yes, he should have. The teams that. He have a lot of playoff defeats and a lot of games. You know how many games? How many games they was involved with? It is so much games they was involved with throughout the whole 70s. You name it. The roller game against the Chargers in his last season against 78. The immaculate reception in 1972. The Heidi Bowl game against the Jets. The Casper game in 1977. I mean the games against the Chiefs. The game against the Chiefs in 1969. Stuff like that. He have been involved in so much games as a Raider. Bear with me, please. Bear with me. Excuse me. But he has more. He has one of the most impressive stat for a coach than any other coach, including Bill Belichick. And no football more than John Madden. John Madden is football. Whether you want to remember as a head coach, as a video game, and as a broadcaster. He breathes and sleeps football. And that's the type of man John Madden is. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. I grew up listening to in CBS, Pat Summerall and John Madden. And I'm going to tell you right now. The NFL package back in the 50s to 1990 to 1993 to 1994. I'm gonna tell you, those were the best footballs I've ever seen in the NFC. And I'm gonna tell you this: and Christopher Mad Dog Russo is right about one thing. The CBS package is better than the Fox package right now as we speak. You know, they do a much better job as far as the NFL is concerned, but that's neither here or there. John Madden, his commentary is extraordinary. He's one of the main reasons why I want to be a broadcaster. Him and Pat Summerall. Because Pat Summerall and John Madden, every time they do a game, it's a big game. Dating back to 1979 or 1981. Every football game they have done from 1981, from 79 to 2001. Let me tell you something. It has been big games, you know, and those you can't comprehend, you know. But back to him as a head coach, you know, his Renegades Raiders, you know, and the thing that I love the most about John Madden as a head coach, he don't try to control he didn't try to control the players. He never did. He never could try to control the players. And that's what I respect about him. Because he never controlled the players. He let the players be who they are. As long as you play on the field, it's all good. That's all he care about. That's all he care about. And that's where we were. For Phil Filippiano, George Hackinson, the late great Jack Tatum, Ted Hendricks, Ben Davison, whoever you want to name in the Raiders in the 70s, they all love playing for John Madden, because John Madden cared as a football coach, and John Madden only has three simple rules, you know: show up, pay attention, and play like hell when I tell you to. Simple. Those are the rules as a head coach. These coaches of today, let me tell you, they want to try to control the players and try to have an authority figure, try to be a dictators around their players. But not John Madden. John Madden never did that. And like I said, as a broadcaster, I love listening to him. I really do. Especially with him and Pat Summerall interact, it's really funny sometimes. Especially with the blimp and stuff like that, you know. In a way, John Madden changed broadcasting as we speak, as for the way he handled the way he held the telestreamer, where the chalk and the X's and O's and stuff like that. That's where it came from. It came from John Madden. And as far as the video games go, I hate one thing about the video game didn't really become popular until 2001. Until 2000. In my opinion. Maybe y'all could correct me if I'm wrong, but the John Madden game started in 1989 or in 87, I'm not sure, but it didn't take off right away. It took some time. When the first time they put Eddie George, they put Eddie George on the cover of Madden in PlayStation. I remember because I had it and I played it. That's when Madden, I think, started taking off. And then when they add a hip-hop element, that's when Madden started taking over. That's when Madden became the video game that it is today. Now, I don't personally, listen, I'm gonna talk about the Madden game for another day. But for excuse me. as far as John Madden, as a John Madden, I would have loved to meet him. I would have loved to meet him. Excuse me. I would have loved to meet him, but man, what an extraordinary career John Madden had from a head coach to a broadcaster and a video game. You know, what can you say? He stamped his approval in this earth, and no matter where you go, nobody is going to forget. Nobody. So John Madden passed away at the age of 85, and may God rest his soul. Condolences goes out to him and his wife and his family. All right, now as far as now, let's focus on the 2021 year itself. As far as that, we had some ups and downs. We had some extraordinary moments, you know, inside and outside of sports. I mean, from Alabama winning the national championship to the UCLA the Gonzaga UCLA overtime game was a very extraordinary, very awesome. Milwaukee Bucks win their first championship since 1971. The Atlanta Braves have one of the biggest turnarounds in not only baseball history but in sports in general. Winning 79, did not win a lot of games, but win enough to win it and win the World Series. So, you know, take your pick. We had big moments, and also what happened in January 6th. What a ugly few moments. What a ugly few moments. With the terrorists invaded the Capitol, you know, and Joe Biden becoming president of the United States, and having the first vice president, Madam Kamala Harris, and you know, take your pick. I mean, you know, 2001 is really like I said, it was some crazy. It was really a crazy year. That's all I can say. I can say about that, you know. And hopefully, 2022, you know, will be a better year. You know, even though, you know, hopefully more people would take the vaccine and take more precaution of the COVID-19. But you know, we shall see. We shall see as things move along. And but as far as for me, as to 2021 as far as 2021 is concerned, for me, there's a lot of learning experience with me. As far as you know, as years go by, I start to learn a little bit more about myself. You know, and where as far as where we need to go from here. Sports year in and year out gets better and better, and you know, next year I can't wait hopefully we get baseball soon. Hopefully the lockout with the baseball. I know I'm just flapping my gums, guys. Just bear with me. I'm just flapping my gums and everything. You know, let's just see how this season goes. You know. And I know I didn't do a lot of shows, but you would get my voice. You always hear me, you know, when I get the show rolling, you know. And with that, I'm gonna close this Drew Mania Live, and that is it for Drew Mania Live, and that's it as far as 2021 is concerned, and the show. Thank you so much for listening. And as always, you can listen to my show on my Apple Podcast. Check it out on my Apple Podcast. And always follow my show on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, My Instagram is DrewM6089. Once again, that's DrewM6089.